Let's begin then. After I separate the bonuses from the toss-ups. Okay, toss-up 1. The speaker of this text proclaims his inability to dedicate, consecrate, or hallow a portion of the field, and asks his listeners to resolve that their nation shall have a new birth of freedom. The words 7 years ago, Johnson won. Incorrect. Begin for 10 points. What 1863 oration at a cemetery? Grayson 2.
Gettysburg Address.
That is correct. For 10. Okay, your bonus. This child of scorn grew lean while he assailed the seasons. For 10 points each, name this Edwin Arlington Robinson character who loved the days of old. Answer, please.
Smith.
Captain.
Miniver.
That is correct. In the poem by Robinson, Miniver dreams of Thebes and this castle and kingdoms, which is ruled by King Arthur.
Camelot.
That is correct. Edwin Arlington Robinson was one of the few poets to have thrice won this prize, named for a newspaper magnate. It was recently awarded in fiction for novels like The Road and The Goldfinch.
Pulitzer Prize.
That's correct. 20 on the bonus, 10 on the bounce back. Toss-up 2. Maxwell introduced a form of this quantity produced by a time-varying electric field called its displacement type. Kirchhoff's node law governs sums of this quantity. Voltage over resistance equals, for 10 points, what quantity that has SI units of amperes and represents a flow of charge? Johnson 1.
Voltage.
That is incorrect. Grayson 4.
Watts.
Incorrect. Answer would be electric current. Toss-up 3. Events in a vassal state of this country were chronicled in the Spring and Autumn Annals. Another book from this country claims that 5 constant factors, including moral law and weather, should govern military decisions. For 10 points, in what country did Sun Tzu write? Grayson 2.
China.
That is correct. For 10. Your bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about Kazakhstan. By area, Kazakhstan is the largest nation in the world to have this property, in which a country lacks direct access to the ocean.
Landlocked.
That's correct. Kazakhstan's southern border is near this sea, fed by the Darya. This body of water in Central Asia has shrunk drastically due to Soviet-era irrigation projects. Answer, please.
Black Sea.
Incorrect.
Aral Sea.
That is correct. In 1997, this city replaced Almaty as the capital of Kazakhstan. Answer, please.
No answer.
That doesn't
Captain?
Brandon.
The answer was Astana. Toss up 4. This opera features the number Vieni surcrin piovano, in which Moorish slaves dance for Amneris. In this work, a soldier named Radames is buried alive along with his lover and an Ethiopian princess. Johnson 2.
Aida.
That is correct for 10. If you earn all 30 points, you can give your teammates 5. For 10 points each, traditionally there are five of this taxonomic group: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Answer, please.
England.
That is correct. Members of this phylum, such as sea stars, often have fivefold radial symmetry. Answer, please.
I just get Megan. Quivero.
Incorrect. Captain?
Econoderms? Mata?
Yes, that is correct. The two ends of a strand of RNA are designated 5' and 3' based on positions of carbon atoms in this 5-carbon sugar found in that molecule.
Yeah.
Ramos.
That's correct. Toss-up 5. This island and Pengu archipelago were ceded to Japan by the Treaty of Shimonoseki after the Sino-Japanese War. The Kuomintang, Johnson 1.
Taiwan.
That is correct for power. Your bonus, sorry. For 10 points each, name these actors who have played Batman on the big screen. This man, who also played Batman on a 1960s TV series, starred opposite Burt Ward in 1966's Batman. Answer, please. Incorrect. Captain?
Anderson.
That is incorrect as well. It is Adam West. 1997's Batman and Robin starred this ER album as Batman alongside, ER alum as Batman alongside Chris O'Donnell, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Uma Thurman.
George Clooney.
That's correct. This actor portrayed Batman in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Answer, please.
Christian Bale.
That's correct. Toss-up 6. Yeah, toss-up 6. The point from which these events originate is called the radiant. November 18th is usually the peak of one of these events, whose parent body is the comet Tempel-Tuttle. The Leonids are an example of, for 10 points, what event? Johnson 1.
Meteor shower?
Correct, for 10. Your bonus. It extends from Lassen Peak in North California to Canada. For 10 points each, name this mountain range of the Pacific Northwest.
Cascade.
That's correct. This tallest peak in the Cascades is visible from Seattle.
Mount Hood.
Mount Hood.
That is incorrect. Captain?
Mount Smith.
Incorrect as well. It is Mount Rainier or Mount Tacoma. This is the only volcanic peak in the range to have erupted in the 21st century. It is better known for a catastrophic eruption in 1980. That's correct. Toss-up 7. Inspired by the Vulgate, this artist added horns to the head of his sculpture of Moses. Another sculpture by this man currently stands in the Galleria dell'Accademia in Florence and depicts a hero before his battle with Goliath. Johnson 3. That is correct for 10. Your bonus. The British fought a 19th century war against these people that included clashes at Isanluwana and Ulundi. For 10 points each, name these people once led by Quechua who were absorbed into the British state of Natal in present-day South Africa.
Zulu.
That's correct. This Zulu leader caused the period known as the Mefkane, or crushing, because of his expansion of the Zulu kingdom.
Shaka.
That is correct. Among Shaka's tactical innovations were the introduction of the assegai and the ikgwa, which were this type of weapon.
Spear.
Spear.
That's correct. 30 on the bonus. Toss up 8. In one episode of this TV show, a request made by the low talker, Leslie, obliges the title character to wear a puffy shirt. The Soup Nazi angered a character on this show named Elaine, who was played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. For 10 points, give the one-word title of this show about nothing. Johnson won.
Nothing.
That is correct. For 10. Your bonus. This star is the brightest one in the constellation Ursa Minor. For 10 points each, name this star, which is called the North Star.
Polaris.
Polaris.
That's correct. Around 14,000 years ago, this star was the Northern Pole Star. This fifth brightest star in the sky is the Alpha Star of Lyra.
Sirius.
Incorrect, Captain.
Beetlejuice.
That is also incorrect. It was Vega. The brightest star in the night sky is this dog star.
Sirius.
Sirius.
That's correct. Uh, 20 on the bonus. Toss-up 9. This novel contains an introductory notice declaring that persons attempting to find a motive will be prosecuted. At the end of this novel, the title character plans to escape Aunt Sally and light out for the territory. Mark Twain wrote, for 10 points, Johnson won.
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
That is incorrect. Wrote, for 10 points, what's equal to Tom Sawyer? That's correct. Your bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about Herbert Spencer. His book Social Statics applies this biologist's principles to humanity. This man wrote on the origin of species.
Darwin.
That is correct. Social statics introduced this four-word phrase that suggests an individual with the most desirable traits will live the longest and have offspring. That is correct. Herbert Spencer advocated that the government follow this policy of non-interference in private business. This hyphenated term comes from the French for allowed to do.
Laissez-faire.
That's correct. 30 on the bonus. Toss-up 10, the last of the half. The anthocyanin in red cabbage juice is used in one method of determining this quality. Grayson 3.
pH.
That is correct for power.
We all went with it.
Your bonus. Her cuts to school lunches earned her the nickname the Milk Snatcher. For 10 points each, name this Iron Lady, the first woman to serve as British Prime Minister. Answer, please.
Thatcher?
Was,
Yeah, that was good.
okay, that is correct. Thatcher led the UK during this 1982 war against Argentina. Answer?
War.
Incorrect.
Edison by Brandon.
Awkward war.
That is correct. The Falklands War ended with the surrender of Argentine troops in this capital of the Falklands.
Smithburg.
Incorrect. Captain?
Edison by Brandon.
Ireland.
Incorrect. That would be Stanley. 10 on the bonus, 10 on the bounce back. And that is the half. We'll announce score after the worksheets.
Thank you.
not flip the sheets over until I start the timer. And if you will write your name on these so we can tell whose is whose when we're grading them, or when I'm grading them, I guess. I will announce when there's 1 minute left and when there are 10 seconds left. Okay? Start. You have 1 minute remaining. Ten seconds remaining. Time's up. Pencils down, please.
Oh, you gotta make one.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you'll give me a second to grade these. Well, both teams had a perfect score, 150 points for both. Oh, you do? Okay. I wasn't told about that. Okay, 160 then. Yes, please, if you will pass the rest of them up. You can come
I
up.
thought we received those at the end of the match.
Yes, we'll give them back to you at the end of the match, but it's, if the coaches want to keep them for now, that's fine, just as long as the players know. Okay, so then that should be, I have Grayson 285 to Johnson 355. Is that what everyone has?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, then let's get back in with toss-up 11. In Roman myth, this god was syncretized with Liber, whose name meant the free one. Pentheus tried to suppress the cult of this god and was dismembered by his female followers, known as Maenads or Bacchae. Johnson 1.
Box.
I'm sorry, I can't accept
Protest.
that. Okay. He was born from the thigh of his father Zeus. For 10 points, name this god of wine. Grayson 4.
Dionysus.
That is correct.
It asked for Roman, you should give it to them.
It did say Roman.
It said Roman, you should give that to them.
It says, okay, I'm just going to read what this is. It says, in Roman myth, the god was syncretized, and then on the answer it says, Dionysus except Bacchus before Bacchae.
Oh, I'm still protesting because that's stupid.
I agree with him.
Okay, well, we'll wait until the end of the match, and if it changes the outcome, then we'll do that. That is kind of dumb, but any team. So, okay. Okay, bonus for Grayson for now, I guess. The fictional author Pierre Maynard attempts to recreate this novel word for word without merely copying it. For 10 points each, name this novel in which a man from La Mancha has adventures through Spain with his squire Sancho Panza.
Don Quixote.
That's correct. Pierre Menard learns Spanish and considers trying to fight the Turks and the Moors to replicate the experiences of this author of Don Quixote.
Miguel de Cervantes.
That is correct. The story of Pierre Menard, author of the Quixote, appears in this Argentine writer's collection, Ficciones.
Borges.
That is correct. 30 on the bonus. Toss-up 12. The artery of Adamkiewicz supplies the anterior part of this structure, whose C3, C4, and C5 segments supply the diaphragm. It ends at the filium terminale and begins below the medulla. For 10 points, name this part of the central nervous system that expands Johnson 1.
Spinal cord.
That is correct for 10. Your bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about the Latin word invictus, meaning unconquered. The Roman cult of Sol Invictus worshipped this object in the 3rd and 4th centuries AD. Sol was equivalent to the Greek Helios.
Sun.
That is correct. This man recited William Henley's poem Invictus prior to his execution for perpetrating the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing.
Timothy McVeigh.
That is McBrayden.
Timothy McVeigh.
That is correct. Henley wrote the poem while recovering from a leg amputation performed by this surgeon who pioneered the sterilization of medical equipment.
Pasteur.
That is incorrect. Captain?
Smith.
Incorrect. That is Lister. So 20 on the bonus. Toss-up 13. This ruler's father, Charles VI, unsuccessfully issued the Pragmatic Sanction to protect her claim to the throne, which was the subject of the War of Austrian Succession. This Habsburg empress was the mother of Marie Antoinette. Johnson 1.
Maria Theresa.
That is correct. For 10. Your bonus. This country's nuclear equipment was harmed by the Stuxnet computer worm, and some of its nuclear scientists were killed in 2010 and 2011. For 10 points each, name this country that has been engaged in controversial negotiations with the US and 5 other countries over its potential to develop a nuclear weapon.
Iran.
That is correct. This 7th president of Iran has long been a negotiator with the US and other countries on Iran's nuclear program.
That is McBrayden.
Ayatollah Khomeini.
That is incorrect. Captain?
Smith.
Incorrect. Hassan Rouhani. The negotiations with Iran have been focused on the number and types of these devices Iran will be allowed to have. Some sources have reported that Iran will be allowed 6,000 of them.
Nuclear reactor.
Incorrect. Captain?
Warheads.
Incorrect. The answer is centrifuges. So that's 10 on the bonus. Toss-up 14. This man wrote about the spontaneous combustion of the shop owner Crook in a novel that revolves around the lawsuit Jarndyce and Jarndyce. In another novel by this author of Bleak House,
Charles Dickens.
yes, that is correct. For 10, just out of cover. Your bonus. Pencil and paper ready. Ryan has modified 6-sided die such that one face is now blank, with the other faces labeled 1 through 5. For 10 points each, if the blank face counts as 0, what is the expected value of a single roll of the die?
One.
That is incorrect. Captain?
2.
That is also incorrect. They were looking for 2.5, 2 and 1/2, or 5 pounds. Remember, you have 10 seconds for a pound, so I'm counting down with 1 hand twice. If all blank results are immediately re-rolled, what is the average value rolled by the die?
Two.
Answer please. Incorrect. 3. That is correct. Part C. If the die is rolled twice, what is the probability that both rolls result in a non-blank face showing?
$25 and 36.
That's correct. 10 on the bonus, 10 on the bounce back. Toss-up 15. A biologist with this surname wrote the 1979 book on human nature, studies ants, and pioneered sociobiology. A politician with this surname won re-election with the slogan, "He kept us out of war," and Johnson won.
Wilson.
That's correct. For power. Yes, last word of power. Your bonus. Under the king Gaiserich, this group sacked Rome in AD 455, looting the city for 2 weeks. For 10 points each, name this Germanic group whose name has come to refer to anyone who defaces or destroys property.
Vandals.
Vandals.
That's correct. Gaiserich made this North African city the capital of a Vandal empire. An earlier empire centered on this city lost the Battle of Zama.
Carthage.
That is correct. The Vandals were adherents of this heresy that Jesus is not divine, having been created by God. It was condemned at the First Council of Nicaea.
Paganism.
That is incorrect. Captain?
Pastafarianism.
Incorrect. The answer was Arianism, so 20 on the bonus. Toss-up 16. In this nation, one can find a sculpture of 5 giant fingers emerging from the sand at Punta del Este. Its namesake river merges with the Paraná to form the Rio de la Plata, an estuary separating it from Argentina. For 10 points, name this South American nation governed from Montevideo. Johnson won.
Paraguay.
Incorrect.
Uruguay.
That is correct.
Grayson.
Yeah, sorry, I just... 410.
Understood.
Your bonus. Progressives in the Democratic Party have expressed a desire for a more left-wing alternative to Hillary Clinton, whom they viewed as a neoliberal globalist. For 10 points each, this Vermont socialist senator and presidential candidate attracted huge crowds in Iowa in 2015.
Bernie Sanders.
That is correct. Another hotbed of left-wing thought is this home state of former Senator Ted Kennedy. A Harvard bankruptcy professor was elected to the Senate from this state in 2012.
Alabama.
Incorrect.
Massachusetts.
That is correct. This Massachusetts senator, who originally proposed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, has spoken out in favor of reforming the student loan system.
Clinton.
Incorrect.
Isn't it Brandon?
Oh. Incorrect, I guess. It would be Elizabeth Ann Warren, so 10 on the bonus and 10 on the bounce back. Toss-up 17. In 1927, this country's constitution was amended so that its president served a 6-year term. Its oil industry was nationalized by a founder of its PRI National Party, Lázaro Cárdenas. Johnson won.
Venezuela.
That is incorrect. For 10 points, what country signed the NAFTA free trade agreement with its northern neighbor, the U.S.? Grayson 2.
Mexico.
That's correct. For 10. Your bonus. This character yells swine, swine, swine during a 2-minute hate against Emmanuel Goldstein. For 10 points each, name this woman whose forehead is marked by a long scar after she is released from the custody of the thought police. Answer, please.
Smith.
Incorrect. Captain?
Julie.
That is,
Julia.
I don't know what to do for that. I guess we'll take that. Well, let's throw it out then, I guess.
Protest.
If you'd like, we could have another Johnson exclusive bonus for that, just one.
Why would that, I'm confused as to why that would be the appropriate method. Can we just note it and then we'll come back to it if it matters?
Okay.
That'll be my preferential way of handling
Alright,
it.
sure.
Thank you.
Julia appears in this author's dystopian novel 1984.
Orwell.
That is correct. Julia has a clandestine affair with this protagonist of 1984 who works at the Ministry of Truth.
No.
Answer, please.
Nathan.
Incorrect. Captain.
Smith.
That is correct.
That one time we didn't say that. One time we didn't say Smith.
10 on the bonus and 10 on the bounce back. Okay, toss-up 18. The Ardhama Prakrit language was used to write the 46 agamas of this religion, which preserves the teachings of the Mahavira. Johnson 2.
Jameson.
That is correct for power. Your bonus. Unfinished works by this composer include his planned opera, The Cairo Goose. For 10 points each, name this 18th century Austrian composer, probably better known for leaving his Requiem in D minor unfinished.
Schubert.
Incorrect. Captain?
Smith.
Incorrect. That would be Mozart.
Oh.
Mozart did, however, complete the last and longest of his symphonies. Give the nickname or number of that symphony.
Jupiter.
Answer, please.
Fifth.
I think well, incorrect, either way. Captain.
41st.
That is correct. 41st in C major or Jupiter. Mozart finished the opening Kyrie of his Requiem and parts of this section whose Latin name translates as Day of Wrath. The rest was completed by friend Xavier Zusmir after Mozart's death. Answer, please.
I designate Megan.
Hesitation, I guess. Captain?
7.
Incorrect. Diez ire. So 10 on the bounce back and 0 on the bonus. Toss up 19. This author argued that political power consists of the right making of laws with penalties of death so as to preserve property in a book that was published in 1689. For 10 points, name this British philosopher whose 2 treatises of government were influential on the founding. Johnson won. That is correct, for 10. Your bonus. Pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, answer these questions about combustion. Combustion is generally defined as burning a substance in the presence of what gaseous element? Incorrect. Captain, that is correct. Complete the combustion of a hydrocarbon. Oh, sorry. Complete combustion of a hydrocarbon results in water and what other gas?
Carbon.
Incorrect.
Carbon dioxide?
That is correct. How many moles of oxygen are needed for combustion of 1 mole of propane, whose chemical formula is C3H8? You have 10 seconds.
11.
Incorrect. Captain?
7.
That is also incorrect. It is 5 moles of oxygen. So then that's 20 on the bounce back and none on the bonus. Okay. Toss up 20, the last. This city is home to a building called Belém Tower and a meeting spot called Rocio Square. A 1755 earthquake devastated this city, whose Vasco da Gama Bridge spans the mouth of the Tagus River, the longest river on the Iberian Peninsula. For 10 points, Johnson won. That is correct for 10. Your bonus. The Chinese immigrant Lindo befriends Anne May while working at a fortune cookie factory in this novel. For 10 points each, identify this Amy Tan novel named after friends who gather to share food, invest in stocks, and play a game.
Joyland Club.
That is correct. Jingmei Wu takes her deceased mother's position as 4th corner at the table where members of the Joy Luck Club play this Chinese tile game. Answer, please. Correct. Jean May's mother founded the U.S. version of the Joy Luck Club in this West Coast state where Amy Tan was born in the city of Oakland. That is correct. 30 on the bonus. And that's the end. Anyone would like to? Final score of 405 to 545.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So